This is VOA Africa.
Good evening, I'm Esther Gitu. You at it's Friday, October 11th. This is Africa 54. Congratulations pour in for Ethiopia's Prime Minister. Abiy Ahmed has won the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize. We bring you the latest from Mozambique as that country prepares for elections next week. And a special collaboration with our affiliate news station ZNBC in Zambia. We'll have an in-depth report with Africa 54's Vincent Makori and ZNBC's Chilufya Mwelwa. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed says he's humbled and thrilled by the news that he's won the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize. He was speaking by phone with the Secretary of the Norwegian Nobel Committee. A recording of the call has been posted online. Meanwhile, there's been celebration in Ethiopia. Megan Revel reports.
The 2019 Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Lauded for his deal last year with Eritrea, which ended 2 decades of hostility.
In Ethiopia, even if much work remains, Abiy Ahmed has initiated important reforms that give many citizens hope for a better life and a brighter future.
Abiy said he was humbled and thrilled to receive the prize in a phone call to the Secretary of the Norwegian Committee.
Thank you very much. I'm so humbled and thrilled when I just heard the news. Thank you very much. It is a prize given to Africa, given to Ethiopia, and I can imagine how the rest of Africa leaders will take it positively to work on peace-building process in our continent.
Abiy took office in April 2018 after his predecessor resigned, following 3 years of protest and unrest. He's since been praised for pushing Ethiopia towards new democratic freedoms. But rights groups say more needs to be done to heal wounds after years of government repression. Ethiopia and Eritrea were bitter rivals for decades. They fought a war in the late 1990s in which upwards of 70,000 people died. But in July 2018, Abiy was warmly welcomed to Eritrea by its president. Their meeting was the first of its kind after a 20-year military standoff. Abiy is also hugely popular with young people in Ethiopia, where more than 40% of the 100 million-strong population are under the age of 15. Residents in the capital welcomed the news.
It's great that he's such a positive thinker. He's steering us. I'm sure he'll win other prizes. Dr. Abiy is doing good work, and not only for our internal affairs, but also for making Ethiopia known in this way in the world.
That was Megan Revel of Reuters reporting. Now, there's been widespread reaction to the news. VOA's Amharic Service Managing Editor, Tizita Belacho, joins me in the studio to talk about this. Tizita, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Esther.
Definitely, you've been following this. A lot of reaction from Ethiopians and the ones in the diaspora. What are they saying?
Well, it's mixed, as expected. There are people who are very, very much excited for Dr. Abiy and for Ethiopia, the country in general, because this is the first, this is going to make him, put him among the, noted African peace seekers like the legendary Nelson Mandela and de Klerk. For Ethiopia also, this is really exciting. This is a country known for civil war and economic challenges, not really known for political negotiation. So this is good news. On the other hand, many, opposition are also asking about the challenging situations in the country because there are political divisions in the country. There is displacement, then ethnic strife. So, people look at it in a, mixed view.
Yeah, and what are analysts saying maybe? Will this Nobel Prize kind of, motivate him to do further, make further progress for Ethiopians, as well as the challenges you're mentioning? There are human rights challenges in Ethiopia. There is also a law, a proclamation of anti-terrorism that kind of tends to repress, Ethiopians.
Yeah, well, specifically on the law, the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government is reforming the law, but it's not there. As issued by Amnesty International, they have a statement out there. His job is not done yet, so this is just a process. But it is encouraging because he allowed, political opposition to function in the country, and also he allowed press freedom. But there is still deep division in the country, so there needs to be reconciliation by opposition. He needs to invite, intellectuals from the diaspora and discuss more about the peace in Ethiopia.
In his phone call with the Norwegian, once he received this call that he won, he did say this is not only big for Ethiopia, but also for Africa. But how so?
Definitely, because, I mean, the prize is, mainly for his peace initiative with Eritrea. Prime Minister Abiy has, negotiated the situation in the Sudan, Djibouti and Eritrea, and he's trying to work for peace for Africa. Africa is known with civil rights, and
so we still expect to see a little more work
strives. So hopefully all African nations or leaders will follow his route.
Sure. Tizita, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
That's Tizita Belacho. She's managing editor with VOA's Amharic service. Now, a cargo plane carrying Congo's presidential staff has crashed in eastern Congo. All 8 passengers and crew are feared dead. A presidential advisor, Vidia Shimanga, says the plane carrying President Felix Tshisekedi's driver, a logistics manager, and some soldiers was headed from Goma to the capital, Kinshasa, and went off radar on Thursday afternoon. He says debris from the plane has been found, but the passengers are still missing. It's not clear what caused the crash. Mozambicans head to the polls next week in what is seen as a milestone national election for the Southern African nation. Political parties will wrap up their campaigns this weekend, and tensions remain high following the death of an election observer. For the latest, we go live now to VOA's Amancio Vilanculos in Beira. Amancio, good evening. And the campaigns now are officially over tomorrow, Saturday, but presidential hopefuls have made their promises. What are the core issues Mozambicans want to see take place once the next administration comes in?
Thank you, Esther. Actually, tomorrow, Saturday, is the last day for the campaign, and here in Beira, people are excited but also kind of worried. Want at least those we've been interviewing, they want the hand of corruption, they want better education, they want basic service in place, and they want also a country where there's not much inequalities. There's a big difference between poor and the richer, and people here believe that people just make it to government just to enrich themselves. So these are kind of the issues that people here are talking about. And during the campaign, all 4 presidential candidates, Mr. Ousuf Mamadi for Renamo, Philippe Nyusi for Frelimo, Mario Albino for Amusi, and also Dazish Timangu for the Democratic Movement. They've been saying that they will fight corruption. They'll be providing much more to the people, but mainly also criticizing the current government, which is the Frelimo government, for the corruption scandals.
All right, Amancio, we'll catch up with you next week. VOA's Amancio Vilanculos speaking to us from Beira, Mozambique. Now, this week, we are featuring music from Zambia. Today's entertainment is a song called Oh My Love by female dancehall duo, Davaus.
Hello, hello, everybody. This week, our song of the week is from Zambia, and it's called Oh My Love. Yes, by a sister-cousin duo named called Davaos. This is the first time we've played any music by Davaos, and we're excited to be able to play it and to represent Zambia. So let's just get right into the song.
Jump straight into it.
Yes. It's a really sort of natural depiction of village life and love. It seems pure and sweet and simple. These two ladies can sing.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way they sound. It's strong, it's sure shot kind of singing. It's beautiful.
And it definitely came in strong with that, like from the beginning of the song, like, boom.
Yep.
And it's interesting to note that in their bio, this is what they say. They say, we sing, this is Davaos. We sing, we dance, we entertain, and we perform. And that is definitely what they've been doing for a very long time in Zambia. In 2015, they were nominated by the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, Born and Bred Music Video Awards, and they were nominated in the category for Best Upcoming Female Artist.
Their sisters, one is named Anivao and the other is Dalivao. That's how they came up with Davaos, I think. I haven't asked them.
Quite creative, but I think that's it.
Yeah, but they didn't grow up together. They grew up in different towns, different parts of Zambia, and they came together around 2007. And ever since, they've been this fabulous duo.
And they are very young. I mean, Anivao is 28, and Dalivao, is 24. Very, very young, and they are already hanging out with big Zambian stars, big producers, trying to get their music out there.
We're excited to hear what you think about Africa 54. Join the discussion on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. We're also streaming our broadcast live on Facebook. Please watch and share our show with your friends. Also check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. After the break, we'll bring you a special collaboration with our affiliate news station ZNBC in Zambia. Africa 54's managing editor Vincent Makori will be joined by ZNBC's Chilofia Mwelwa. They'll bring you an in-depth news report from that country. Stay with us.
On Our Voices, we're talking about the news and issues you're talking about, sharing stories of development and growth across Africa, around the world, and in our lives. Topics that inform, empower, and change the rules. It's time for Our Voices with me, Haiti Adams Fitzpatrick, and Hadiza Kiari, and Ayan Bior, and Orion Itangi Shaka. It's time for Our Voices.
high, high, high. You just high, high, high. Nina ukani luka buseni, nachimwe okapena ni malaria.
When you walk away, I wanna make you my woman. I don't wanna waste no time. I say, hola, my mama. You know I'm wanting you. I say, hola, big mama. Can I be the one for you? Tell me, where did you come from?
Hello and welcome to Africa 54. My name is Chilufia Mwelwa. We're on the ZNBC set and I'm with Vincent Makori. Hello, welcome to the program and welcome to Zambia.
Thank you very much, Chilufia. I'm so delighted to be in Zambia and to be at the ZNBC studios in Lusaka.
We're very honored to have you. I know that you were in southern Zambia.
Yes,
what did you see?
I was in southern Zambia. I was in the city of Livingstone, and yes, I actually saw a lot of people carrying, goods across the border. Zambian traders have taken advantage of Zimbabwe's ailing economy to buy basic commodities from Victoria Falls to resell in the resort town of Livingstone. Now, many traders say items such as mealie meal, sugar, and milk are cheaper in Zimbabwe, prompting the traders to charge double the price in the Zambian market. Now, here's what we saw at the border. With economic challenges in Zimbabwe, the cross-border trade between Zimbabwe and Zambia, in fact, continues vibrantly. Actually, the traders on the Zambian side say that goods are way cheaper in Zimbabwe, and so they're cashing in by getting goods from the Zimbabwe side to the Zambian side. And they are benefiting from the lower prices of goods like mealie meal and sugar.
The reason we buy from Zimbabwe is that their mealie meal, sugar and cooking oil is cheaper. I'm unemployed and widowed with children, so I have no other choice but to trade to fend for my family.
The traders, however, face restrictions imposed on some of the basic commodities, such as sugar, at the Zimbabwean border, making it difficult for them to bring it into Zambia.
When we get to the border, we face difficulties. Even if we just have one packet of sugar, they will confiscate it on the Zimbabwean side. When you cross over to Zambia, the customs officers question us as to why we buy these products that are available in Zambia. They sometimes seize our goods or charge us high duty.
The people who bring in sugar and mealie meal in bulk have problems with custom officers. It's not that there isn't mealie meal in Zambia, it's just too expensive, and that's why we cross over to Zimbabwe, because it's far much cheaper there.
The customs officers, the policemen, and those guards, they are harassing us, telling us that we should not bring meal from Zimbabwe, bring it here in Zambia, because even here we have got meal. One, and number two, they're telling us that there is no hunger in our country. That why are you buying meal from Zimbabwe? Most of the women who are going to Zimbabwe, we pop on our back here, just to rescue ourselves. We pass in the bush, we start running from them. When they catch you again there, they'll beat you, they'll put you in the cells.
The government has reassured Zambians that the price of the staple food will normalize soon. With Zambia having recently increased the price of mealie meal from $7 per 25 kilogram bag to $9, it is almost certain that local traders will continue to cross the border to buy a cheaper product at the expense of Zambia's food industry. Well, that report was produced by a Zambian reporter named Kongo Liwewe for VOA's Africa 54.
Right, it's interesting how drought has affected trade. Vincent. You know that our president was recently in your country attending the United Nations General Assembly, and I hear that VOA had an exclusive interview with him.
Well, that's correct. That's correct. In fact, the president of Zambia says he plans to tackle the effects of climate change in Zambia as the country looks ahead to an upcoming election in 2021. And VOA's Peter Clote asked him about that. In fact, this has been reported in Zambia's Daily Mail newspaper.
All these meetings that we attend, be it in the UN, the African Union, or in the region under SADC, ECOWAS, East Africa, or wherever, the panacea to our problem does not lie in interrogating these problems by way of having meetings, but it lies in implementing the resolutions that you have come across. And I think this is the biggest challenge that we have, because when we talk to each other, it was very clear that if you want to industrialize, I think you need energy. And what form of energy do you need? And we have realized that hydro energy is trickery. It's treacherous, if I may use the word. You know, 1 minute you have lots of water, the next minute you have no water, your production of power goes down, like Zambia. And so you need to have a good mix of the various forms of energy. But how many of us didn't know way back that we need a lot of energy to industrialize? But I'm glad that this is a wake-up call. And going into the future, obviously, we have said, yes, you need all forms of energy. But that's why I kept it by saying, we need to have a good mix of energy, but only the private sector can invest to that magnitude that we expect should be able to have enough to develop. But the private sector will not invest if the tariffs, for example, that you are charging are not cost-reflective and profitable for them. Over the years, Zambia, the economy has been growing, the industry has been growing, population has grown, households, and the demand for electricity has exceeded the expectation of the power utility company. And so when you have this huge demand coupled with the negative effects of climate change, the power plummets from, say, 100% production to 20%. How do you meet the demand? And I think the solution lies in implementing whatever you've agreed upon, no matter how unpalatable. You have to bite the bullet. Sometimes these decisions come at a time when you have an election coming, like in Zambia. 2 years from now, we have an election, less than 2 years, in fact. But we have to bite the bullet. And we have to explain to the people that we are going to take these measures, not because we enjoy your suffering, but we are taking these measures because we want to keep you alive, want to keep the wheels of the economy turning, and want to go beyond 2021 with hope that the country is getting better. But who can make those decisions? Very few people. I do make those decisions, and I'm proud that we normally want to engage the people, stakeholders, and explain to them why certain measures are taken. And I think that's where we're losing it. Because by the time you come to realize that you need to implement these measures, you've been swept off your feet. You're either no longer in power, or they're a new man in office, and they're trying to, excuse me, I want to find my feet, and so on. So we should be sincere in our decision-making and implementation.
Well, Chilufi, on another very important issue, it looks like the Zambian government is also making efforts to make it possible for girls to stay in school. In the 2017 budget, the Zambian government announced it would start distributing free sanitary pads to girls in schools.
Yes, and today, 2 years later, the menstrual hygiene management classes have been introduced in schools. And this has attracted participation and the partnership of non-government organizations such as World Vision, who distribute the reusable sanitary pads in rural schools. Chitentabunga Primary School in rural Lusaka province is one of the schools that received reusable pads. We visited the school and talked to two 14-year-old girls to find out how the program has changed their lives.
This is no ordinary class. These boys and girls at Chitentabunga Primary School in rural Chongwe are learning about menstrual hygiene and how to make reusable sanitary pads. This special class was introduced after it was noticed that girls on their menses would stay away from school for weeks to avoid being shamed by boys.
We used to have a lot of absenteeism, especially in mature girls. That is, girls who have started their menstrual periods. At a time when they would go on their menstrual periods, these girls used to stay away from school.
The government, working with non-government organizations, initiated a project where free reusable sanitary pads are distributed in rural schools with the aim of improving school attendance by girls. Stetabunga Primary School was one of the schools that benefited.
In those days, before the introduction of washable sanitary pads, more especially on the girl child, we used to record about 80 to 100 absenteeism across the 7 schools. But this time around, the numbers drastically reduced to 5 to 10.
Cholwe and Cynthia, both 14 years old, received free sanitary pads and were trained on how to make and use them.
Before this program was introduced, we used ordinary cloth, which would cause bruises. But now, the school gives us pads, and we also have a special bathroom where girls can go and clean up in case she shows herself at school. Previously, boys used to laugh at girls who saw themselves at school, and this used to make girls on menses to stay away from school. But now we can come to school even on menses, because menstruation is normal for women, and without it, there would be no humanity.
We used to stay away from school a lot, for fear that boys would laugh at you if you spoil yourself during menses. We are taught about pads. There are 2 types of pads. A pad is one that you wear with a pant, while a padding is one you wear without a pant. And if you spoil yourself, you have the right to tell the teacher, who will give you a pad, water and soap to clean yourself in the special bathroom.
The menstrual hygiene management program has not only helped improve school attendance among girls by as much as 80% in a month, but has also removed the girls' veil of shame on menstruation. Joshua Jere for Africa 54.
Really an amazing initiative, Vincent, that allows girls to stay in school.
Yes, indeed, to think that such a basic thing can make a difference for girls' life, not only in the present, but into the future. It's really commendable that somebody's doing something about it.
Thank you so much for coming through to our ZNBC studios and having me host the show with you.
Wow.
It's been awesome.
Thank you. It's been awesome being with you, Chilufya, co-hosting the show, and also for being hosted by ZNBC. We are really, really grateful. In fact, you'll be watching a co-production of ZNBC and VOA's Africa 54. We are so grateful to everyone who worked behind the scenes to make this a possibility. And we want to urge you all across Africa to continue watching Africa 54, and those in Zambia, keep watching Africa 54 on ZNBC.